A woman standing in her power is a woman who changes the world, even if she doesn't realize it yet. There's an unmistakable energy that radiates from someone who believes in her capabilities and trusts her own voice. Every choice she makes, every dream she pursues, sends out ripples of possibility. Today, let us explore how confidence and independence are nurtured through the gentle art of mindful living, focusing especially on the power of our thoughts and words. In many corners of the globe, women are stepping into new roles, breaking age-old barriers, and finding their voices amplified through social media and community networks. Yet, behind the strides we see publicly, there can still be self-doubt, quiet questions about worthiness or fear that acceptance will slip away if we stand too firmly in our truth. This duality is precisely why it's so essential to remember that empowerment begins inside. No external recognition can substitute for an unwavering belief in our own value. Imagine your mind as fertile soil. Each thought you plant is a seed capable of sprouting into a belief. Over time, repeated thoughts, especially ones charged with emotion, blossom into the convictions you hold about yourself and your place in the world. If you tend only to seeds of doubt or fear, your inner garden might feel overgrown by limiting beliefs. But if you choose to nurture supportive, loving statements, you create a more vibrant and encouraging environment within. This script is devoted to every woman who yearns to feel stronger in herself, who wants to trust her decisions, and who dares to envision a life shaped by her passions rather than external pressures. We'll begin by looking at the foundation of affirmations, how they shift our thinking, one phrase at a time. We'll talk about self-love and explore the role mirror work can play in forging confidence. We'll address boundaries, how to set them with grace, and discuss emotional resilience so you can stand firm when the winds of doubt blow. We'll also examine financial empowerment, touching on how money mindsets interlink with independence. Finally, we'll celebrate the importance of sisterhood, women supporting women, because no matter how self-reliant we become, community nourishes us in unique ways. As you read, allow your heart to open to the possibility that you can be your own best ally. Affirmations act like steady hands at your back, encouraging you to step forward. Each time you speak a kind statement about yourself, you're making a pledge to honor your capacity for growth. There's no shame in vulnerability, no weakness in questioning. What matters is choosing to transform those questions into stepping stones. Let's begin by laying the groundwork of how affirmations work so you can use them effectively to cultivate a more confident, independent version of you. Remember, you deserve the space to flourish, and every seed of empowering thought you plant today will pave the way for a harvest of self-assurance tomorrow. Affirmations are more than words recited in the morning mirror or jotted in a journal. Think of them as gently persistent reminders of who you are and what you're capable of becoming. When repeated with conviction, they have the power to challenge old narratives, the ones that whisper you're not enough or that your voice doesn't matter. Why do they work? Because our brains are both incredibly adaptable and somewhat gullible. If a message is repeated often enough, especially with emotion, our subconscious mind treats it as truth. This is why negative self-talk can feel so paralyzing. It's as if a critical voice in our head has become law. But affirmations flip that script by deliberately feeding your mind supportive, uplifting statements. The more you practice, the more your internal landscape reconfigures itself around positivity and self-trust. To get started, choose an affirmation that resonates with you on a deep level. For building confidence and independence, it might be something like, I am powerful in my own right, and I trust my choices. The key is authenticity. If the words ring false, tweak them until they sit comfortably in your heart. After all, your affirmation should feel like a warm, gentle push toward the life you envision for yourself. Consistency matters. You wouldn't water a plant once and expect it to flourish, right? Similarly, affirmations thrive on repetition. Speak them softly to yourself in the morning, or write them on a note you keep in your purse. Some women find it helpful to set alarms on their phones with a favorite affirmation, allowing a midday reminder to ground them. Even a brief whisper, I am strong, I am worthy, when doubt creeps in, can have a cumulative effect. Emotion fuels affirmations. When you say, I am powerful, let your body and mind align with that sentiment. Stand up straight, breathe fully, and recall a moment when you felt truly competent or proud of yourself. By summoning that emotional energy, you embed the affirmation more deeply. Over time, this new belief becomes part of your mental framework. It's also important to stay open to small signs of change. Maybe you notice you speak up sooner in a work meeting, or you feel less guilt about saying no to tasks that overextend you. Celebrate these shifts, however modest they might seem. They are evidence that your mind is rewiring. Here's a simple foundational affirmation you can adapt. I welcome confidence into my life, knowing I am capable of independent thought and bold action. Let it be a seed planted in the garden of your subconscious. And as you nurture it, watch how it grows, blossoming into a renewed sense of personal power. Next, we'll explore the cornerstone of all growth, self-love. When you appreciate who you are, beyond achievements, appearances, or the approval of others, you lay the bedrock for every other aspect of empowerment. Stay with me, and let's see how deeply this concept can transform your life. When was the last time you paused and genuinely appreciated yourself? Not for something you did, but simply for being who you are. We live in a culture that often equates worth with accomplishment, leaving many women feeling they must constantly earn their right to feel good about themselves. But self-love is not a reward for perfection. It's the compassionate acceptance of your wholeness, strengths, flaws, and all. Imagine you're cradling the child you once were, offering them gentle words of kindness. That younger self is still within you, listening whenever you speak harshly about your abilities or looks. Through self-love, you reassure that inner child. You matter, and you are cherished just as you are. This recognition soothes the parts of us that feel we must do more, be more, or prove something. Authentic self-love states, you are enough now. One practical way to deepen this sense of worth is by creating a self-love list. Grab a piece of paper and write down 10 qualities you value about yourself. They can be anything: your sense of humor, resilience, cooking skills, or the way you remember friends' birthdays. When self-doubt arises, revisit this list. Let it remind you that you are multifaceted, capable, and deserving of kindness from yourself. Affirmations can guide you further. For instance, I accept myself unconditionally, recognizing my value in every breath I take. Speak these words gently, imagining each syllable as a soothing wave that washes over your heart. The more you affirm your intrinsic worth, the less external validation you seek, and the freer you become to shape your own path. Self-love fuels independence because it frees you from constant comparisons or the need for others' approval. When you operate from a grounded sense of your own value, you're less likely to shrink yourself to fit someone else's idea of who you should be. You become more confident in speaking up, trying new ventures, and walking away from situations that no longer serve your growth. A quick exercise. Next time you make a mistake, big or small, observe your internal dialogue. Do you immediately lash out at yourself, or do you respond with patience and understanding? If old habits of self-critique show up, gently introduce a loving phrase. I am human, and mistakes help me learn. By consciously replacing harshness with compassion, you rewire your mind to see setbacks not as evidence of unworthiness, but as natural steps in learning. Over time, these small acts of self-love accumulate, eventually shifting the entire tenor of how you relate to yourself. Embracing self-love doesn't mean you'll never feel insecure again. Rather, it provides a nurturing cushion of acceptance that helps you bounce back faster. With this foundation intact, you are better equipped to face the deeper layers of conditioning or past wounds that might be holding you back, which is exactly what we'll explore in the next section. Healing internal blocks that can limit your confidence and independence. Many of us carry baggage from childhood, culture, or past relationships, burdens that shape how we view ourselves and our capabilities. You might have absorbed messages that said, women should be quiet, you're too emotional, or you need someone else to guide you. Over time, such narratives can solidify into unconscious barriers, hindering your sense of independence and self-assurance. Acknowledging these internal blocks is the first step toward healing. Take a moment to reflect. Which voices from your past still echo in your mind? Perhaps a parent's criticism about your choices, a teacher's dismissal of your goals, or repeated media messages that made you doubt your intelligence or ambition. Naming these influences helps you see that they are learned ideas, not unchangeable truths about who you are. One effective tool for releasing old conditioning is journaling. Sit down in a quiet space with a notebook. Identify a limiting belief, for instance, I'm not smart enough to run my own business. Write it at the top of a page, and then challenge it line by line. Ask yourself, is this always true? When have I proven the opposite? Who benefits from me believing this? By dismantling the belief piece by piece, you loosen its grip on your self-esteem. Affirmations also play a crucial role in replacing these outdated scripts. For emotional release, try something like, I free myself from all limiting beliefs, allowing new confidence to blossom within me. As you say these words, imagine shedding an old coat you've outgrown, a heavy garment of critical voices and self-doubt. Visualize stepping forward, lighter and more open to possibilities. Sometimes, physical tension corresponds to emotional blocks. Consider adding breath work or gentle movement to your practice. A few minutes of slow, conscious breathing can settle your mind, making it easier to confront painful memories without feeling overwhelmed. Or experiment with a mindful walk in nature, using each step as a chance to affirm, I walk away from old constraints, moving into freedom and self-belief. Remember, healing is not always linear. You might feel a surge of confidence one day and find old fears resurfacing the next. Be patient and kind to yourself throughout these fluctuations. Each time you recognize an old thought pattern creeping back, gently reaffirm your chosen statements. Over time, the new beliefs gain strength, and the old ones lose their influence. This healing process unlocks doors you may not have realized were closed. When you realize that many of your doubts were inherited, not inherently yours, you reclaim the power to rewrite your narrative. That sense of liberation naturally feeds into building deeper confidence. Confidence you can magnify with direct self-reflection. Which leads us to the next section on mirror work, an intimate yet powerful way to see yourself through a lens of compassion and personal strength. Have you ever looked in the mirror and truly met your own gaze, beyond scanning your hairstyle or makeup? Mirror work encourages just that, a quiet, honest moment with yourself that goes deeper than superficial appearance checks. It's a practice where you speak gentle, uplifting truths to the face staring back, anchoring self-belief in the present moment. To begin, find a calm space and a mirror at eye level. Breathe slowly, letting your shoulders relax. Then choose an affirmation that resonates with confidence and independence, like, I see the strength in my eyes. I trust the wisdom in my heart. Look into your reflection and say these words. Notice any sensations. Maybe your chest tightens or tears begin to form, or you feel an unexpected warmth. Emotions that arise are a sign you're reaching deeper layers of self-perception. Awkwardness often accompanies the initial steps of mirror work. It can feel unnatural, like stepping on stage without a script. But that vulnerability is part of the gift. You're confronting any internal hesitations about praising yourself. Each time you persist, you build a bridge of trust between your conscious mind and the hidden parts of you that crave acceptance. If negativity bubbles up, judgments about your appearance or worth, pause for a moment. Acknowledge the thought, then gently redirect to a supportive statement. I am learning to see my own light, free from judgment. Over time, these micro-interventions reshape how you view yourself, softening harsh perspectives into compassion. Mirror work doesn't have to be a long, formal session. Brief check-ins throughout the day, like catching your reflection in a shop window, can also become moments of affirmation. A quick nod to yourself, a kind smile, or a whispered phrase, I stand tall in my power, can accumulate into a solid foundation of self-trust. Consider pairing mirror work with physical gestures if that helps you internalize the practice. Placing a hand over your heart, for instance, while gazing at yourself, can intensify the emotional resonance of your words. Another approach is to write a note on the mirror. I am capable. I am free. I am enough. Let these words greet you each morning, framing your day with positivity. The aim is to forge a balanced relationship with your reflection, one that doesn't ignore imperfections, but extends kindness regardless. When you can face yourself without flinching, you step closer to the independent, self-assured woman you aspire to be. And this newfound confidence naturally weaves into how you engage with the world, starting with the boundaries you set to safeguard your energy, time, and emotional well-being. Let's explore those boundaries next, as they are key to maintaining the sense of empowerment you're actively cultivating. It's one thing to feel confident and capable within yourself. It's another to maintain that sense of empowerment in a world where demands on your time and emotional bandwidth can be relentless. That's why boundaries are critical. They act as protective fences, ensuring that no matter how chaotic life gets, you preserve the inner space needed to stay true to who you are. A boundary can be as simple as deciding you won't check work emails after a certain hour, or as emotionally charged as refusing to engage in relationships that drain your spirit. In each scenario, the goal is the same: to respect your own limits and signal to others that your well-being matters. For women especially, societal pressures can make setting boundaries feel selfish. But consider this: without appropriate limits, you risk burnout, resentment, and fractured self-esteem. True independence flourishes when you trust yourself enough to say no when needed. To identify where boundaries might be lacking, tune into moments you feel uneasy or resentful. Perhaps you feel uneasy every time a friend interrupts your alone time, or a colleague expects you to handle tasks beyond your role. That tension often indicates a boundary that needs defining. Write these situations down and then outline what you'd ideally like to happen. From there, craft a clear but respectful statement you can use when the need arises. I understand you need help, but I'm currently at capacity. Let's explore another option. Affirmations can fortify your resolve. One such statement might be, I honor my boundaries, trusting that I deserve respect and personal space. Let those words remind you that saying no or later does not make you unkind. It makes you self-aware and protective of your resources. Enforcing boundaries can feel uncomfortable at first, particularly if you're used to people-pleasing. You may worry about disappointing others or facing conflict. In those moments, reconnect with your affirmation. Breathe deeply and affirm, respecting my needs allows me to show up more fully in my relationships. This reminds you that strong boundaries aren't walls. They're guidelines for healthier connections. Over time, people around you adapt to the new clarity you bring. Genuine friends and supportive family members will learn to respect your lines and may even be inspired to create healthier boundaries for themselves. Meanwhile, those who push back or react with guilt-tripping might reveal their unwillingness to honor your sense of self. As difficult as that realization can be, it paves the way for more authentic and balanced relationships. Boundaries are pivotal for sustained empowerment, but they're only one part of the puzzle. It's equally vital to cultivate emotional resilience, to understand how to handle life's inevitable fluctuations without losing confidence. In the next section, we'll explore strategies for remaining steady in the face of fear or doubt, reinforcing the inner strength you've been working so diligently to build. No matter how confident you feel or how clearly you've set your boundaries, life has a way of testing you. Challenges and uncertainties pop up, and moments of self-doubt can creep in, whispering that perhaps you're not as capable as you thought. Emotional resilience is what enables you to face those whispers head-on and move forward with courage instead of retreating into old insecurities. Resilience often begins with reframing adversity. When an obstacle arises, be it a conflict at work, a personal setback, or an unexpected life twist, try to see it as an opportunity for growth rather than a dead end. Ask yourself, what am I learning here? Or, how can this experience make me stronger or more empathetic? By focusing on the lesson instead of the loss, you maintain a sense of agency over your situation. Mindfulness techniques can also help you stay grounded. A few minutes of deep breathing or a brief meditation can diffuse the heightened emotions that accompany stress. As you inhale, imagine filling your body with calm energy. As you exhale, envision releasing tension and fear. Pair this practice with an affirmation like, "I breathe in courage and breathe out self-doubt, standing firmly in my strength." Self-dialogue is another powerful tool. In times of uncertainty, you might catch your thoughts spiraling into worry. What if I fail? Or, I'm not skilled enough for this. Pause. Replace that internal script with something more balanced. I am learning and growing. This challenge does not define me. Over time, these small mental shifts build a protective layer of resilience, allowing you to adapt rather than collapse when pressures intensify. It's also helpful to celebrate small victories, moments when you pushed through fear or accomplished something you initially doubted you could do. Keep a journal of these wins, however minor they may seem. Flipping through these pages during tough times serves as a reminder that you have a track record of conquering obstacles, fueling your confidence to handle new ones. Support from others can bolster resilience too. Whether it's a trusted friend, a mentor, or an online community, sharing your challenges often brings fresh perspectives and emotional relief. But remember to keep an affirmation anchor within yourself. I value and welcome support while knowing my inner strength ultimately guides me. This acknowledges that while external help is beneficial, you alone are responsible for your emotional well-being. The point of resilience isn't to become impervious to pain or fear. It's to recognize those feelings, honor them, and then keep moving forward anyway. This inner fortitude sets the stage for real independence because it proves you can weather life's storms without losing who you are. And part of feeling truly independent also involves financial aspects. Knowing you can stand on your own 2 feet in tangible, practical ways. Next, we'll delve into how financial empowerment integrates seamlessly with the emotional and psychological foundations you've been building. Confidence in your abilities, the setting of healthy boundaries, and emotional resilience are powerful elements of independence. But for many women, a crucial piece is also financial stability. Knowing you can support your needs, invest in your aspirations, and make choices free from monetary constraints. Financial empowerment isn't about amassing vast wealth necessarily. It's about fostering a mindset that values self-reliance and sees abundance as a natural extension of personal growth. If finances have always felt intimidating, start with small, manageable steps. Learn the basics: budgeting, saving, and understanding your cash flow. Think of it as self-care for your future. The same empathy you extend to yourself in mirror work can be applied here. Approach money matters with kindness rather than shame. A simple shift in perspective. I choose to become more informed and confident about my finances, can make all the difference. Affirmations can help you navigate any discomfort. Try something like, I am worthy of financial well-being, and I trust myself to make wise decisions. Each time you pay a bill, deposit a check, or even make a purchase, repeat an abundance-focused statement to remind yourself you're in control. Over time, this consistent reinforcement redefines your relationship with money from one of anxiety or avoidance to one of constructive engagement. Embrace the idea that investing in your personal development, be it education, a skill-building course, or even a therapeutic retreat pays dividends that go beyond your bank account. You become a more confident, resourceful individual, which can open new revenue streams or career paths. Whether it's asking for a raise, launching a side project, or negotiating rates for your freelance work, these actions become less daunting when you genuinely believe in your professional worth. Consider also the concept of money boundaries. Just as you set emotional limits, you can set financial ones. This might look like deciding not to lend money when it jeopardizes your own security, or learning to say no to expensive social activities that don't align with your budget. Boundaries serve as a reminder that you have the right to protect your resources as an expression of self-respect. Of course, financial empowerment doesn't mean walking this road alone. If you find a mentor or group that discusses money management in a supportive environment, join in. Sharing tips, experiences, and even failures can help you learn faster and feel less isolated. Remember, each financial choice you make, whether it's saving a small portion of your paycheck or daring to pitch a business idea, sends a message to your psyche. I believe in my ability to thrive. As your sense of empowerment blossoms, emotionally, mentally, and financially, you may realize the profound impact that community can have. Women supporting women is a force unlike any other, boosting individual growth while forging collective resilience. So let's explore that concept of sisterhood next, as it plays a vital role in sustaining the independence and confidence you've been working so hard to cultivate. It's often said that empowered women empower women. There's a special alchemy in female friendships, mentorships, and collective endeavors that elevates each participant. While self-reliance is crucial, we all benefit from knowing we have allies, those who cheer our victories and offer shoulders to lean on in challenging times. A strong support system doesn't detract from your independence. It enriches it by showing you that unity can be a source of strength. Whether it's a close friend, a local women's group, or a digital community, sharing experiences and wisdom nurtures resilience. Sometimes, just hearing another woman's story can be enough to reignite your own hope or inspire a fresh perspective. Think about how many times you've come away from a heartfelt conversation feeling lighter or more motivated. That's the power of sisterhood in action. Having a mentor or being one can supercharge your growth. If you admire a colleague's leadership style, why not reach out and ask for guidance? Most people are flattered to be approached for advice, and the exchange can lead to transformative insights. Meanwhile, if you have knowledge or skills that could uplift someone else, don't hesitate to offer them. Empowering others not only benefits them, but also reinforces your own sense of capability and purpose. Affirmations can also extend into this realm. For instance, I embrace supportive connections, and I contribute to the empowerment of those around me. By affirming this, you consciously cultivate a spirit of generosity and collaboration. It reminds you that in championing other women's successes, you elevate the collective, including yourself. If you're unsure where to start, try something as simple as forming a small circle of trust, maybe a regular meetup or online chat group where each member can discuss goals, challenges, and breakthroughs. Or join a networking event geared toward women in your field. Even an occasional coffee date with a like-minded friend can foster a sense of belonging. The key is intentionality. recognizing that these alliances deserve time and energy, just like any other priority. Balance is vital, though. While sisterhood is uplifting, it's essential to set emotional boundaries here too. Not every relationship is constructive. Look for communities that encourage positivity, solution-focused thinking, and empathy, rather than spaces where gossip or negativity prevails. Over time, you'll hone your ability to discern which networks truly enrich your journey. This synergy of self-love, healing, boundary setting, financial empowerment, and communal support weaves together to form a robust tapestry of independence. Each element enhances the others, creating a life that feels expansive rather than restricted. Now, as we approach our conclusion, let's piece these threads together with a final note of encouragement and an affirmation to carry you forward as you continue building unshakable confidence and autonomy. You've journeyed through the essential layers of empowering yourself, starting from the words you speak to your own heart, to the practical matters of finances and the healing of past wounds. Each facet of this exploration contributes to the radiant mosaic of a confident, independent woman. Affirmations become the gentle reminders that steer your thoughts toward love and possibility, while mirror work strengthens your connection to the self who gazes back. Boundaries protect this newfound confidence, emotional resilience keeps it steady, and financial savvy gives it real-world weight. Finally, sisterhood provides the communal support that so many of us need to flourish in a world that can still be challenging for women. Embodying this sense of empowerment doesn't happen overnight. It's a lifelong practice of reinforcing healthy thought patterns, learning from mistakes with compassion, and celebrating even the smallest signs of progress. Some days you may feel unstoppable, other days not so much. But each time you reaffirm your worth, every time you lovingly assert a boundary or offer a kind thought to yourself, you root your independence a little more deeply. Over time, those roots grow strong enough to weather life's storms, and your branches stretch wide in glorious self-expression. As you move forward, keep in mind that your journey is uniquely yours. There is no one-size-fits-all formula for confidence or independence, because each woman's challenges and dreams are her own. Yet the principles of self-love, mindful healing, and positive affirmations remain universally transformative. It's about committing to the ongoing process of growth, trusting that every compassionate choice you make for yourself ripples outward, improving not just your life, but the lives of those you touch. Here's a final affirmation to tie all these threads together. I stand in my truth with unwavering strength, guided by love and inspired by my limitless potential. Let these words echo through you, reminding you that your capacity for confidence and independence is infinite when nurtured with care. Read them out loud or write them on a card you can revisit in moments of doubt. Over time, you'll find these principles have become woven into your daily life, reflecting in your decisions, relationships, and sense of self. Thank you for taking this time to invest in your own empowerment. May each affirmation you speak, each boundary you set, and each supportive connection you foster light a path toward a life that is authentically, joyously your own. You have everything you need to thrive, and the journey ahead holds far more promise than you might imagine. Embrace it fully, knowing you are worthy of every good thing that comes your way, and that your power ultimately resides in the loving relationship you cultivate with yourself.